This year marks the end of a 9-year cycle for me. When I turned 25, I went on a somewhat turbulent spiritual journey. I left behind my old way of living, and I decided that I'm going to learn how to trust my intuition. I decided because I deep down knew that my soul had a plan when it came here, and I was willing to make this huge leap into the void and seek my purpose. I never thought that I would end up in such a quiet place, and even though it is very peaceful and calm, it still could be quieter if you ask me. Being so highly sensitive, and not just emotionally but physically and psychically, the world is full of chatter and noise. And even though I live in the countryside, in a place that is not even considered a village, there are still people around here, and people come here to have a break from their week, which means there is music, there is construction going on, sometimes people are partying, and thankfully I'm in a place where I can kind of handle it, but also even that rare occasion is still a lot for my nervous system. I was 100% right with the opinion and the knowing that I would never ever be able to survive in a cityscape any longer. And being in the country with a house and several pets is physically quite difficult too. I have a very limited amount of energy and I get tired pretty quickly. But I knew that before I bought the house. I knew that I would have to go for a couple of years without specific comforts like running water, for example, or an indoor bathroom. I knew this because I have been looking at houses in the price range that I could afford, and this was the perfect match for me at that time. And I have not regretted it at any point. Sure, it's hard, and I miss just being able to, turn on the tap and take a shower. But that will be done. It is in progress. Indoor bathroom is in progress. And there are many other things that need to be done in the house, like the floors need to be changed, the doors, the windows. There's so much stuff because this was not intended to be a residence house. The place that I'm living in is called, the houses are called dachas, and they are summer houses, but you can also live here. So it's basically like a huge allotment garden out in the countryside. Due to my burnout this year, I was also really neglecting my garden. So I took some time on a relatively warm and wind-still day this November and just head out in the garden to clear it up a bit. The terrace that I'm currently working on is going to be transformed into a beautiful flower garden. I want to have roses everywhere. I want to have perennials and just a space where I can go and have some relaxed time. I would like to plant some trees and just have, I just love being in the garden, to be honest. It's hard work, and I don't particularly like digging in the ground. but I love being there. I usually have no music on. I'm just out with my hands in the dirt, and my system loves it. It's super, super calming to my nervous system. Six years ago, when I moved back to my home country of Moldova, I did not intend to stay here. Not at all. I just knew that this was the next step, and this is what I'm gonna do. This is where my intuition, calls me towards. So I did that, and somehow I ended up staying, and with that change of scenery and the ability to pay very little for housing and groceries, etc., I decided that for the first time in my life I'm going to start something creative that I'm just going to do for the pleasure of it. I still had no real idea what I wanted to do for a living. I tried out many different things over the years, and nothing stuck. So I decided, okay, I'm just not going to think about it. I'm going to just take a little bit of time now that I don't have to be in survival mode constantly, and just see what naturally, comes up. There will be something. Painting was strictly, and I made that decision very consciously, painting was just for the pleasure of it. I did not want to pressure myself to having to become super good or anything. I just wanted to paint and draw because that was one of my passions as a child and also as a teenager. But I never thought about, making a living off of that. That was just not at all a idea in my mind or something that I saw that would be possible to do. But deep, somewhere there back in my mind, I knew that if I just did something just without all of the pressure of having to make money from it, I would be actually able to develop something without the energy of lack and desperation attached to it. And that's what I did. It took me many years and many different experiments and ventures into different kinds of things, with materials and technique and stuff, to get to a point where I'm actually comfortable now. Now is that time. And this year I took it very seriously. But funny enough, because I wasn't attaching any sort of expectation to it, I actually got a job. I collaborated with a writer, and that was why I was able to actually afford the house in the countryside. It earned me a beautiful person in my life. I have been working with this wonderful human being for a couple of years now, and we are still collaborating, and I hope this will be like a lifetime collaboration that would be wonderful. And yeah, so in the end it kind of happened naturally that the thing that I actually opened myself up to with a pure intention, not to say that, making money off of something is not pure, but for me it was so extreme, this survival mode and this huge desperation and shame. There were so many intensely painful emotions attached to having to make a living that I just wanted to try something new, and I was in the position to do that. And yeah, surprise, this is now my main income stream. I am still quite at the beginning. Like I said, this year I just started to really develop my technique and my style. I spent a lot of time, the whole year just painting. And I really look forward to the future. I feel confident and fulfilled. And this is something that I can just see me doing for the rest of my life. It is so private I get to do it in my home studio and then get to share it with the world. Painting gives me the most freedom of all of the artistic ventures that I went on. I can do it in the safety of my home, and it can transmit my inner world to the outside, which is a wonderful feeling. And as an Aquarius, I just need that sense of freedom. With all of the other professions like actor and singer and all the other things that I've tried out, I would have always been in society and kind of entangled with other people too much, which would not be sustainable for me being autistic and ADHD and just very sensitive in general. So I'm just really, really grateful to myself that I took this step to get into painting, into drawing, and really take my time without pressure. This has been a huge gift for me, and I'm so looking forward to closing off this 9-year cycle in tandem with the numerology of this year 2025 and start a new cycle next year, a new chapter, a big chapter of my life. I'm just happy. I'm so happy. I never thought that I would get to a point where I'm actually proud of my skill, and like I said, I'm still at the beginning. I really look forward to what I'm able to create in the future, and I'm going to share here on YouTube. I'm going to share my process and my journey with painting, and I hope you enjoy. I'm sending you much, much love, and I'll see you in the next video. Laura.